The final episode of Victoria's second season is the Christmas episode. This probably made more sense in Great Britain when they saw this episode because, well, it was Christmas time. But still, Christmas in February can be a thing. The episode is titled Comfort and Joy, but much of this episode brings anything but comfort or joy, until everything breaks down and then gets marginally better. You feel better, but still, something terrible happened. This season took us through motherhood for Victoria, an experience she did not enjoy, and throughout the show it's obvious she likes the novelty of kids, but prefers the seen when she wants to, but not heard ever mentality. So it seems like a major character shift to suggest that she suddenly feels motherly toward a young African princess, Sarah Forbes. And this was a story I was totally excited about because it's actually true and I had no idea. There was a young African princess who was saved and then taken back to Great Britain to Queen Victoria. She became her godmother. However, in the research that I did, it seemed that Queen Victoria was on the fringes of her upbringing, whereas in this episode, she seems like a major part of it. So while I love this storyline and the fact that it was true, I couldn't get excited about Queen Victoria's major change in character. It just was out of character. Prince Albert is not excited about keeping the girl. Not because he's prejudiced against her, even though it's clear that Queen Victoria's mother is a bit racist. His reason is because Sarah is unhappy. He speaks the truth to Victoria, and Victoria actually listens to him. He's like the one person who speaks truth in her life that she'll actually listen to now that the governess is gone. It's a good thing she has one person. This episode also comes back to Africa and slavery. While it's now frowned upon during this era in Britain, it was still a thriving trade in the United States. When one of the maids receives word of an inheritance of 10,000 pounds from an unknown uncle, she is ecstatic. Who wouldn't be? She wouldn't have to work anymore. She'd be set for life. Unfortunately, she finds out that the money is not actual money, it's in the form of slaves that must be sold. So while she desperately wants the money, she just can't sell people. And so she just signs over her inheritance and lets these people go free. She also gives her heart away to the pastry chef, and the two become engaged. Even though they might lose their jobs, they decided they are better together. So I guess there is some joy in marrying the man that she wants, and the joy of knowing that she freed people from slavery. Prince Albert is dealing with his own family issues, and without the help of a licensed therapist, just has to deal with things on his own. His last happy memory of his family all together was at Christmas time when he was a little boy, and he wants to recreate that for his own family. He's kind of like the first Clark Griswold. He went over the top with decorations, with a tree hanging from the ceiling, and inviting all kinds of unwanted family to the house so they could have a real family Christmas. The only difference between Prince Albert and Clark Griswold is that Prince Albert could afford servants to help do all the hard work. Clark Griswold just got, a Fruit of the Month club. And while he's recreating a family Christmas, that means he invited all the extended families to Buckingham Palace for a Christmas celebration. One problem: he did not consult his wife, and that's always a bad move. And while he wants to recreate one of his wonderful childhood memories, his brother Ernst is there to squash all the joy from his heart. According to him, that memory is all kind of fake because it was the last night his mother stayed at home before she left, and that his mother's cheeks were only shining because she was crying. Thanks. Ernst is probably just cranky though because he's dealing with his own heartbreak. He cannot marry the woman he loves because of his syphilis, so he has to end things with her even though they both want only each other. He loves her too much, and honestly, his story ends without any joy or comfort. The episode also shows us another story that actually happened. Prince Albert did fall into a frozen lake while skating, and Queen Victoria did save him. It was a miracle. And miraculously, the family ends up having a pretty good Christmas. Season 2 of Victoria deals with issues that still impact us today. Family relationships, romance, and heartbreak. The thing that makes it more fascinating is that the person in charge of everything is a woman. Though she be but little, she is fierce. But thankfully, not too fierce.